Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining the webinar today. We have gathered to discuss on very trending topic. So before that, what I would like to do is I'll first introduce myself. I am Amruta. I am the marketing and growth manager for Vasa Labs, and today with me we have a very good lineup of speakers who will be talking about our you know water management for industrial facilities and its different applications. So first, from our side, we have Neha Karan. She is the product manager for our water vertical products, wherein she will be covering what we are doing, the kind of digital innovation that Vasa Lab is doing when it comes to water management. Then we have Frederick Royan, who is currently the global practice leader and for sustainability and circular economy for Frost and Sullivan, and he wears another hat also. He is the chair for Swan India Alliance, that is the Smart Water Network Forum. And then we will be joined by Avinash Mishra sir, who was a former advisor to Niti Aayog, and he is currently the chairman of Water Audit Council. So moving on to just a brief description. So as to today's webinar, it is being hosted by Vasa Labs in collaboration with Water Audit Council. And Vasa Labs, we are a technology company wherein what we do is we are using various different emerging technologies like AI, geospatial, machine learning, deep learning, digital twins to kind of solve the grassroots problems of the primary sector. And of course, we thrive towards enterprise innovation and industry side of its management. We are into various sectors: water, agriculture, smart cities, disaster. But today's webinar, we will be focusing on the water sector, and the main focus will be, the pivotal focus will be on industries, what industries are doing when it comes to water management. So hence the theme for the webinar is smart water, smarter facilities, wherein we are looking at the concept of water neutrality, smart benchmarking, and all those things which can be bought into when we are looking at digital transformation as a whole for industries. Like, as we know that today there is a growing pressure when it comes to water management. When you have industry related challenges, there is fragmented data, many of the audits are going inefficient, there is a lack of real time visibility, and other aspects which kind of making industries not stick to their compliance or water quality issues. So today we will be showcasing what we are doing when it comes to the application of digital tools, what thought leaders are talking about, what experts are looking at when it comes to policy making, digital governance, and of course looking innovation at a scale. So first I would like to introduce Neha to showcase how aqua facility looks like and what exactly it is doing. So Neha, over to you.
Thanks, Amrita, for the brief introduction. Uh, Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining our webinar. I'm Neha Karan. I graduated from Indian School of Business in 2024, and post that, I've been working here at Vasar Labs as a water product manager, leading the water vertical. Coming to so that's my 1 year of journey. Coming to our product, Aqua Facility is which caters to different segments. Like we are here to discuss it. So Aqua, let me just share my screen and help the audience understand better. Is it visible? Right. So Aqua Facility is basically designed to, manage water solutions in residential as well as commercial facilities. When I say commercial, it can be hospitals, it can be industries, it can be IT parks, or stadiums. And residentials can range from small societies to, large scale facilities. Uh, so Aqua Facility is, based on 5 pillars. The goal is to achieve water neutrality, that no matter how much water you draw, you also give it back. Water efficiency, whatever water you're using within your facility is, optimized and used in the right way, so it reduces the load on natural resources. Water sufficiency, that your facility never runs out of water no matter what happens. And this is a very valid concern, given that groundwater levels are depleting and there's a water shortage in many areas in India. Compliance, that in the commercial facilities especially, stay ahead of latest government compliances. It can be related to water quality, can be related to sewage treatment and its disposal. Advisories, that any advisory related to government, or any uh, mishap that happens within the facility, is outreach to the right person at the right time. Now, who is aqua facility targeted to? It can be targeted to residents, people who are living in flats. The major crisis they face is that currently, whatever water bill they are getting, it's divided amongst all towers equally, which is unfair. So, get your own water bill. The residents try to, so this provides the economic value. Second is that, to understand what is the water quality of their water being supplied to their apartment in real. They can check at 12 o'clock in the noon once a week, or maybe at multiple hours a day. So this is the use case for residents. Coming to the use case for facility managers. Facility managers are basically people who manage the utilities department of the facility. It can be energy related, it can be water related. So they look at where the water consumption has been, which part of the facility has consumed. Uh, right. So yeah, so which part has been consumed more, and if water is being treated, where is it being used, what is the water quality of it, and how efficiently are we managing it. So aqua facility targets these three user personas. Now, in order to gauge the interest in the market, Vasar Labs, in conjunction with Water Audit Council, released an application wherein any person managing any facilities water, it can be a resident who's living in an individual house, or who's living in a apartment, can download the application for free and understand what is the status of his facility, whether it is water neutral, water positive, or water negative. How is he doing in terms of energy? How well is he, you know how well is he complying to all the advisories put forth by the government in place? So back in Jan, we released this application, wherein the user journey goes like the facility manager or the individual resident fills out a basic form telling details about his facility, like what is the carpet area, how many people live in it, has he gotten his water audit done, does he have smart meters in place, does he have sensors, has he gotten his energy audit done, fills in the report, and our computation comes up with the facility health score, which tells him that how his facility is doing compared to other facilities of similar sizes. It basically gives him a rank. Over and above that, we also give him free improvements, as in what all steps or what all measures he can take in order to, increase his facility's health or be more sustainable in that site. We also provide him with a certificate or more of a, BMI for facilities. How healthy is your facility? So yeah, moving forward, this is how our application looks in real time. So we have taken Raheja, for example, here. We have partnered with them recently. Yeah, so you can see how well they are doing in terms of compliance, how well they're doing in terms of energy and water. He can download the certificate. He can as well as share it with his peers. He can see what is his current rank, and then after improvements, what his rank can come to. On over and above that, we have also provided a GIS integrated feature wherein the user can see facilities near him who have also, taken a step towards sustainability, downloaded our application, filled in the details, and have awareness about the current water score and how well are they ranking. Coming to other features of aqua facility, once we get into partnership, we build unified dashboards for the particular facility, catering to their requests. Uh, so that they can have all the information in real time at their place. We also provide a digital twin, which is a digital replica of the facility to help them understand where water is being used in real time every day throughout the facility. Real time monitoring from different sources. How much water is he drawing from different sources? How much is he drawing from groundwater? How much from municipal water? Or how many tanks are coming on a daily basis? You monitor that on a daily basis. Then coming to water reuse and optimization, to how is gray water treated in the facility, where all is this gray water used, what is the quality of this gray water, can it be used in an optimized way, is there any wastage. Coming to water audit and analytics, it gives him a clear picture of where his basically his water footprint in the facility, that where is his water being used, how much water is being used for cleaning the gardens, or how much water is being used in the pool, or how much is being used for other utilities. Coming to demand forecasting, which is one of our key features, is that basically it predicts, takes the data, how much the facility has used in the past, and predicts how much it will be using in the future. This is also subjected to seasonal change, and given India is a country of many cultures and many festivals, it accounts for that as well. That assuming Holi is coming, so we'll assume that the water consumption is going to shoot up. So it takes in account all of the factors, social, economic, cultural, and gives you a thorough forecast. Moving forward, we also have automated asset control and asset health monitoring. So it maps every pipe, every connection in your facility, and tells them how old is the pipe, how when is the warranty getting over, and then when can we when does it have to go for servicing. And assuming that one pipe does burst, and then you have services coming in, it also predicts for other pipes of similar ages how often will the servicing be needed. Also coming majorly in facilities, there are tanks, in small size facilities there are tanks that are placed above high towers, and usually there's a man climbing up to open the pump and close the valve. So here we provide him not only safety but a mechanized way of using his phone to uh, control that, instead of putting his life in danger. Coming to optimization models, basically leak detection, where can cost cutting happen, how do you allocate water efficiently in different parts of the facility. Here coming one more highlighting feature is facility benchmarking. This is in order to get a healthy competition out there, say wherein our facility is compared with other facilities which are in our view, and tell them of similar sizes, helping them make better decisions, helping them understand how they are performing. Say, is the water consumption more or less comparatively? If it is less, what measures they should be taking in order to, optimize the water consumption. On top of all of that, we have real time notifications in case of any leakages, in case of tank. Levels being low, and what was the tank level consumption throughout. If any tank has consumed more water, maybe there should be checks on that. Then real time customer grievances to address whatever grievances up user person have raised, and compliance tracking if there is any new regulation released by the government, or have we complied with all the regulations or our KPIs which we have set for ourselves. Now coming to, we also have integrated with Gen AI, wherein it answers on demand queries, it provides you with real time updates, it's multilingual, it has a listening mode as well, so you don't need to type. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is in short our product Aqua Facility. Please go ahead and download it. It's free of cost, available of Android and iOS as well. Thank you. Over to you, Amrita.
Yeah. So, thank you, Neha, for this brief, very brief and very crisp introduction and details on Aqua Facility and what it's doing when it comes to industries. So, before I go to the next speaker, I'll just shoot out the poll where audience can engage and give us like. So, I'll just start the first poll. It focuses on how would you rate your facilities current approach to water management. Moving on, we have our next speaker, Avinash Mishra sir. Good afternoon, sir.
So that's very good that today we are discussing the water audit and it is for the built premises. Why it need to be built premises? Could be even for the city-based water audit up to the municipal level and reducing down from municipal level to the built premises. The moment we say the built premises, it should not be confined only to the residential housing, residential complexes, but rather more important installations are there in a city. While I'm saying the more important facilities means the IT park, the corporate houses in terms of the office complexes, and then definitely the industrial units, those are in or around the cities. Why the cities are very important? Because you see, we must know that in the GDP contribution of India, the cities contribution ranges somewhere close to 50%. For instance, Mumbai alone is contributing around 10%. Gradually, the Delhi around 8 to 9% of GDP, and similarly other cities. So it is very clear that urbanization, which is happening in India, we cannot stop the urbanization because it is to continue. Finally, it is adding to the GDP growth. Okay, fine. Then what is the constraint? Definitely, you will find that the infrastructure, the gap is a big constraint. While we talk the infrastructure gap, the power, the transport, and the water. Water becomes very important. There is no city, there is no million plus city in the country where the water is not coming somewhere on an average 200 to 300 kilometers from far away distances. So actually we are having such a precious water that which is pumped from such a high distance, so much energy getting consumed, which works out to around 30% of the country's energy consumption. And after that, the water gets treated, and the treated water again get supplied for several kilometers within the cities, and thereafter the wastewater gets generated. That wastewater again gets in the form of sewer, gets again pumped and to the location which could be somewhere in some drain or somewhere in some places. So like that, the to and fro movement of water, and in this whole process, we Indians are the single user of water because we use the water for once. We don't use it for another secondary. There's no secondary use of water. So this once single use of water with lot of pumpage from this way and that way, it is really a big problem, which definitely curbs the cities to develop further, curbs the urbanization to grow further. So what is the solution? Now coming to the solution, we need to see our efficiency level. 30 to 40% water gets lost actually in transmission and distribution. We say non-revenue water, the water which is going for leaks, water which is going for theft, or water which is going for unmetered connection. Despite the fact that the pricing of water is not sufficient, thereafter also this is happening. Then what should be the solution? So actually the solution which was worked out from several studies, that solution is that if we are going for a water audit, which is for such a strategic resource on which the growth is dependent, should be the important feature. So we should do the audit. In what way the audit? It should be audit at the distribution end, at the consumer end, and at the source end. Because at all these points, there is a lot of leakage, there is a lot of inefficiency involved, and there is a lot of wastage of water. So in what way we should go? In today's world, while we have got the traditional audits was only for logs, and it was not intelligent enough. We were just noting the numbers. But today, IoT-based sensors are there, smart meters are there, real-time dashboard is there, And based on these data which is generated, we can make the decisions. So there is a decision support system. We can have the benchmarking, what should be the minimum consumption level, what should be the optimum consumption level, and then the forecasting and prioritizing the interventions. So that all is possible if we are able to audit ourselves, if we are able to judge the gap. And this is something which actually CPCB also noted and accordingly issued the guidelines that the water audit should be a mandatory feature. Not only this, in US, there are various agencies like Leeds and other, those are actually working within the premises how to minimize the water consumption. And through low flow fixtures, through optimum pumpage, we are able to minimize the water consumption to the tune of 30 to 40%. Despite that, we know that the water, we know that the water, which is such a precious, and for drinking purpose, we require only 10 to 15% of our total consumption water. The rest of the uses can very well be either for flushing or for mopping or for gardening, can very well made through the secondary sources, through the reuse of the wastewater. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change have recently issued a guideline which says that grey water should be used to the tune of 10 to 20% initially, and it will go up to 50% by the year 2030, gradually each year for all, for built premises, for industries, for every facility. It means that it is now a mandatory. It is based on a rule. It is something like act. So the water audit has become now a mandatory feature. Within a water audit in the facilities, like the IT parks, like the hotel industry, it is giving this sustainability. Sustainability in the sense that we will be able to cope the water needs while there is a strong water scarcity. We can harvest rainwater, or we can reuse, recycle and store the water, which can be used while there is a scarce water. Based on various formulation combination which has been given in the Water Audit Council manual, and there are various case studies which indicates that we can be sustainable around the year for all the 365 days if we are able to audit the water, if we are able to bridge the gaps of leaks for the higher demand for various high water consumption areas which can be minimized and which can be optimized. So this way we can proceed forward, and I am very sure we have even gone in Water Audit Council for water star rating. Means we can have the star rating, 5-star water rating, 3-star rating, depending upon the water consumption. And our optimum objective is to minimize the water usage in such a way so that around the year the water is available. It should not happen like what happened in Bangalore some 1 or 2 years back, while there was absolutely no water and the people were forced to work from home, or some of them have to go to the nearby malls or some 5-star hotels to actually get themselves with the daily routine. So all these eventuality would never come in case if we are forecasting the uses and the consumption patterns of water. This is feasible, what we can do. I really wanted to say up to this, and based on various methodology wherein we can see the water within the fence, within the same watershed, within the same aquifer shed, the water resources. We should recharge whenever it is possible, and we should store on surface wherever it is available. So it is like this. Thank you very much. This is what the Water Audit Council meant. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for bringing the experience that you have had. I mean, Avinash sir has been from the policy side, and they have the real time experience of how and where these gaps are coming. And the way you cited, like because of urbanization, we need to not only see the primary side but also the secondary side, like looking at gardening, these kind of applications, and going to malls and then going to commercial and industrial use cases. I mean, very nicely articulated, sir, and thank you for always supporting Vasa Labs through your wonderful insights. So before I go to our next speaker, I'll just do another poll. So here we are looking at what is the biggest barrier to achieving water neutrality in your facility. So people have answered that. I mean, we see that, yeah, there is a lack of real-time data where we are seeing. I'll also publish the results, as you can see on the screen. So,
Actually, Amrita,
okay.
I would like to get
Yes, sir.
disconnected. But before that, I just want to
Sure, sir.
mention
Please,
about
please.
the water neutrality. Water neutrality means we are actually factoring ourselves that we should be able to harvest the water in such a way that our uses of water should not hurt to the ecosystem. We should draw the same quantum of water from the ecosystem which we can return back. In this whole process, 10 to 15% water is such water which we are really consuming. As humans, we cannot consume more than 10 to 15% water. Rest of the water is such which can be recycled back. Now, actually, this recycling, this 10 to 15% consumed water can be generated within the fences in case if our premises is the bigger one, and if not, then in that case we should see in what watershed we are. So in that particular watershed, like other stakeholders, we are also one of the stakeholder, and we have also got some of the water rights over there, and to that much quantum of water right, we can also harvest our water to that extent. And in case, even if the watershed happens to be the urban, where there is no much possibility, but in case of the urbans also, the every possibility is there. Like China could prove that there are the sponge, the roads, there are the sponge sort of the concreting done, which wherein the water immediately get absorbed within the surface subsurface layers. So either we can have that, and if not, then we should see how long our aquifer is getting extended. So within that aquifer, we can go for the recharge. So all these things we can do, and that's why we can be water neutral. Means we are taking the water to the same quantity from the ecosystem, and we are also returning the same quantity of water in the ecosystem of the same quality. So we should also treat, nowadays all treatment processes are there. These processes are both organic, chemical, and all sorts of processes are there. Depending upon the type of the wastewater getting generated, we can definitely opt all this, and we can return back to this. Thank you. With this, Amrita, if you permit me, I would like to get disconnected.
Yes, sir. You can go ahead since we have Madhubanti. If there's any question, she will be addressing that. Thank you, sir, for joining in between your busy schedule. I can understand that, sir. Please, yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. We will start with Fred. So Fred will be speaking on the topic, future of responsible facilities, which will be focusing on water circularity, digital governance, and what he's like as a thought leader for the industry when it comes to water management. What kind of problem statements or what kind of solutions that he looks at when it comes to the future of industrial water management. So over to you, Fred. You can start.
Yeah, thanks, Amrita, and great to follow up after Nee had presented about the Aqua facility. I think it's quite a timely product which Vasa Labs has come out, because you cannot manage what you cannot measure. And I think that's pretty much in summary what we need to start talking about, especially with water. You can only manage water once you start measuring water and addressing how do you tackle some of the challenges related to water, using data as a key lever. I have two sections, just what should I say, from a perspective from the Frost and Sullivan side, and then I'll give a perspective from the Smart Water Network Forum side. And I know we had a few people who had joined, and the people are rejoining. Glad to even have any questions if any of our points resonate or provoke any thoughts as people look at the slides. So I'll start with one on my window. There we go. A quick word on Frost and Sullivan. So we've been in the area of identifying growth opportunities for the last 60 years. These are our key vertical practices areas. And quite interestingly, as you've said, the Aqua facility is a solution which is applicable to pretty much any entity, any industrial unit, any commercial or institutional unit. And from the Frost and Sullivan universe, this is where the sustainability practice actually was set up a few years ago. So it's a horizontal practice. We're trying to support vertical industries as well as combine the expertise from our horizontal practice areas from chemicals, security, ICT, and tech vision. And why are we doing this? And as increasingly becoming very apparent, sustainability is not it's not a very simple challenge for everyone to understand and tackle. But interestingly, it's a challenge which links various industries together. So it's a common challenge, and quite a few of them, as industries, are looking to reach common goals. So when you look at the sustainability and the circular economy, you're looking at, how can we achieve three things, which is on scale, speed, and stewardship. So some of the work that me and my team focus on is identifying growth opportunities, such as, the solutions of Aqua facility, where you're trying to connect the growth opportunities of water, energy, and resource regeneration. And that is the really interesting point here. You're not only in the past, we were looking at tackling some of these problems in isolation, looking at just water in isolation, or energy or resources. But now when you start linking them all together, if you save a gallon of water, you're also saving a unit of energy, right? So it becomes quite an interesting opportunity. And what we are also seeing is the connection of cities and industry value chains. Because there's an opportunity to start thinking how various commercial institutions, industrial institutions, or even cities can think of an ecosystem approach to tackle the problem of water. And just this one slide on the Frost and Sullivan, which I talk about the 6P framework, right? And what the 6P framework, and it is interesting, Mr. Mishra was there, so everything starts from policies. Mr. Mishra has been with the Niti Aayog. The Niti Aayog sets a lot of policies, and even on water, if you look at some of the recent policies on water reuse and recycling in India, that's really going to shape how products are going to be used by some of these establishments. Products, which are going to reduce the footprint and increase the handprint in manufacturing facilities, industries, and the likes. But the importance of understanding the processes and workflows in some of these facilities, measuring water, energy, and materials, and see how you see the opportunities of tackling some of the synergistic opportunities between these three. And the people in persona part, how can some of these solutions drive productivity of the different users and partnerships? I'm sure it's become kind of key success factor of companies trying to partner with the best of partners who bring in really value, both in terms of expertise, knowledge, as well as channels to connect with different customer groups. And the last part is the platform. And this is the reason I use this slide as well, is if you look at the Aqua facility, that's what it's trying to achieve. It's, you talk about how the Aqua facility is providing compliance for facilities, right? You talk about the Aqua facility in terms of the energy efficiency side. So that's the entire thing about the footprint and handprint, as well as the processes side of it, right? So I think going forward, the Aqua facility, it's interesting, Neha's presentation, it was not just about water efficiency and water audits. It was also looking at the asset health, so that is a very interesting aspect, where you're really monitoring the assets health and ensuring it's performing at its optimum kind of efficiency. But going forward, I can see these platforms also, not just measuring, monitoring, reporting, but also verifying how these things are operating, but can also support a circular economy. People talk about the water credits. We've seen quite a few interesting areas where even Microsoft, which wants to be water positive by 2030, is investing in some of these kind of solutions on the water replenishment side, right? So I think platforms are certainly going to be key as we go into this sphere. I also wanted to give a connection of how do we see it from the Swan Forum side, because from the Swan Forum side, and wherein a solution like the Aqua facility fits in, right? So here, if you see, so these are the two models of the Swan Forum, right? And I think if I look at this section, so people generally ask, what is a smart water journey, right? And even in the context of the topic that we're talking right now today is how can a facility achieve water neutrality, right? It's a strategic outcome. So you start from there. So that's point zero, or kind of, what should I say, the end goal, of a facility wanting to reach water neutrality, right? And then you start thinking about that as a driver and start looking at how you start seeing, do you have the relevant physical assets in place, right? And then do you have sensors to actually measure and monitor what's going on? And then, of course, we need the entire communication piece to come through it. And then we need a data management and display element like the Aqua facility, which all brings it all together. And the Aqua facility also then provides the analytics, so in Neha's presentation, I think it was also talking about how the Aqua facility not only measures and monitors and reports, but also provides suggestions on how various improvements can be made, right? So quite interesting, so how the Aqua facility has charted this kind of the journey, what we call as the smart water journey of the water smart water network. And this is the other graphic that we use in the Smart Water Network Forum that quite a few members like Vasa Labs have been also kind of promoting, as we call it as the 5-layer, right? And it's very similar to the circular framework. And in this case, it's the stack approach. People talk about it, right? So, I think we have the physical assets, the sensing and control, the collection and communication, data management and display, and the data fusion side of things, right? So I just wanted to share those. I know just running short on time, so we can just open it for questions. Yeah, just and thanks for the opportunity. And
Yes.
wanted to summarize saying that, you know, what you all have created is a product of the times, especially in a market like India. I think Mr. Mishra was also talking about the GDP in India, right? People talk about the GDP of India. Yes, that there's agriculture, there's manufacturing, but there's this huge services segment that people forget about. It is a fast-growing segment, a segment which is going to require significant volumes of water, and water security is going to be key to the success of growth of those kind of sectors, right? I think it's timely product. It's great to see that you'll have already having success with some of the tier one clients like Raheja, and I think that'll certainly help in terms of how you start taking that beyond just a single customer, but rolling it out across different customer groups. So wishing you the very best, in terms of how you achieve the growth objective of your product.
Thank you, Fred, for bringing both Frost's and Swan side. I mean, even Wasser is one of in the leadership team of the Swan India Alliance, and time and again, even since I represent Wasser there, so time and again we do see the kind of challenges industries are facing, and how the 6P framework, or even the layered one, where I think Wasser comes into, where it comes to data management and the digital layer side of your framework. So I'll just shoot the last poll question, and then we will start with the Q&A. Meanwhile, I request the participants, you can drop in your questions. I'll just start the last poll. So the last poll focuses on which digital solution would most benefit your facility today. So I'll just give it some time when people start interacting with the poll. So it's in between real-time monitoring and automated audit and reporting. That is what I'm seeing. Okay, so we will quickly move to the question answer side. I'll take some questions. Okay, so to start with some of the questions, what I can do is I'll just put up, I can see a question for Fred. So Fred, what is, your perspective so as to how digital twins or digital tools improve the accuracy and efficiency of, the way industries have been managing water of lately? How do you see the change, which the kind of technologies that we were talking about, how the change is coming through?
Yeah, I think the key word I use is productivity. In the current day and age that all of us, want to achieve more with less, right? We have less amount of time, but we have quite a lot of more things to achieve, right? So when you look at water, and it has an efficiency problem. Yes, sometimes people talk about water that the water tariffs are not that what should I say, high and sufficient enough to justify a business case to deploy digital solutions like digital twins and the likes, right? But basically what we're seeing is even in a facility, people are realizing that there are different drivers which are coming to fore right now. Things like compliance needs, as well as the key driver which I see right now is energy, especially large facilities which are high water consumers. If they are high water consumers, more often than not, they also consume significant amounts of energy. And the energy efficiency piece is becoming quite an interesting piece for water utilities to talk about. But also on the sustainability agenda, for some of these facilities to showcase leadership and stewardship of water. They see it as quite an exciting opportunity to deploy these digital solutions, right? So I talk about the 3 S's, right? If there's an opportunity to deploy this solution at scale, and if it does things at speed, and the third S is stewardship. If it really gives an opportunity for the organization to showcase stewardship. Stewardship is slightly different from what should I say, CSR. CSR is more of a responsibility, right?
Right.
Stewardship beyond compliance. It gives an opportunity for organizations to showcase leadership, which is beyond compliance or regulatory needs. And it's a bit more voluntary, but also exhibits some strong leadership in terms of how they are showcasing environmental protection or even natural kind of resource conservation measures like water conservation.
Great. I mean, spot on. So, Madhubanti, if you can hear us, there is another question which I would like you to answer since Sir is not here. I would like to know what are the common gaps or the difference which you guys are seeing on the policy side or the practicality side so as to like manual water audits were a thing a few years back or even today. So do you think how digital systems can address that when looking at the manual intervention, the gaps which are creating, how digital systems can address that?
Yeah. So digital systems actually is very important for the calculation, for the understanding of the leakage detection, etc. Because see, as the first question that you have asked, that what is the biggest barrier to achieving the water neutrality, I think the result was like lack of real-time data. So when you are not able to catch the exact data, you are not able to monitor the data, how is it possible that we can go for a data analysis? The analysis is only possible when we can easily capture the data of leak detection, or how much of the water is being harvested, rainwater harvesting, how much of recycling is done, how much of the water pressure is there in the upper floors, etc., in huge building premises where there are more than 12 to 14 floors. So the water pressure in each and every floor doesn't happen to be the same. So each and providing so much of human capital, human labor to go and check every pipe pressure is sometimes not possible, and sometimes there is a loss of cost associated with these functioning. So I think AI and digitalization is more important in this perspective, because if we are not able to catch real-time data, real-time solutions provision will be the most difficult task. So solution will only be there when you are catching the problem at source. Okay, so that ways auditing in built area premises is very important. Auditing doesn't only mean making people understand how to reuse water, but also trying to make them understand the amount of the water that is being wasted each and every day needs to be minimized. What are the process by which you can minimize your water? That process we need to tell them that you need to apply certain digital mechanisms by which it will be easy to understand and monitor that where are the loopholes and the flaws that are arising due to the any kind of issues. Can be there, temperature can be there, blockage can be there, or any of barriers in the internal piping system, etc. All these things should be there. If we get to know all these internal barriers, then it is easier for us to bring the solution. Suppose a leakage or a pressure building system, a low pressure system is arising in the 7th floor. So the labor has to go, the engineer has to go from the 1st floor to the 6th floor one by one and check where actually the problem is there. But if you are having a digital mechanism to actually check immediately there is a problem in the 7th floor, I do not send my human engineers to all these 6 floors and waste their time.
Yeah.
That is the essence behind it. Efficiency in time, efficiency, minimizing the wasting time of the engineers and the laborers that we are conducting. More of digitalization can help us in rapid transmitting of solutions. So neutrality and all comes later. First, grassroots solution to the problem has to be done, and then only we can say that we are water neutral, right?
Yeah, I
Yes.
agree
Yes.
with what Dr. Madhuvanti has mentioned, right? The productivity piece, which again was highlighted, which is very important. And the other point, which Dr. Madhuvanti has mentioned, is this entire, and it was in Neha's presentation as well, of your gamification, which you'll have, right? Benchmarking within different people and how you really then drive change. Because one of the biggest challenges that we see going forward is, yes, we can't continue to deliver more water because people need more water. I think the opportunity here is, how do you influence customer behavior and change? So especially in these kind of facilities that you're operating in, right? Once you know that a solution like aqua facility is able to provide data of what is the water consumption in your office today, and you were able to reduce your water consumption by X% by tomorrow, right? Then everyone will realize that you are part of that solution and part of that change, right? So this entire ensuring that people's behavior, and you're taking people on board, they're becoming part of the process to bring about change and reduce the volume of water is important. Yeah.
And there is one important point of including digitalization and AI sourcing is we can analyze large data sets of the water usage, water quality, and distribution, and we can identify this exact pattern and trend that might be missed by the traditional methods, etc. If you're using traditional methods, you will check each and every floor by the human laborers and the engineers. But through AI, what happens? We try to understand the water usage and the quantity, quality, distributions, and we understand the pattern of the detection that is taking place. Also, one more thing I feel, there is an early warning system. If there is a pressure creating in any pipe, we will only come to know about it when the pipe bursts, if we are following the traditional methods. But suppose we are going by digitalization, so there will be an early warning system. So AI-powered sensors, etc., according to my mindset, is they'll continuously monitor that water quality parameters, and they can definitely detect if there is a warning situation coming. They will give us previous warning, and we will, before the pipe burst, we will immediately go and check on it.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So that's
Absolutely. All right.
like a predictive analysis and optimization. By that, we can definitely, minimize the amount of the accidents that happen in the buildings, etc. They catch fire many times. Many times the pipe burst. So all this, because there is a temperature controlling system also. Not necessarily we are talking just about the tropical countries, but also if the country is in the winter places where the temperature cools down from very low. So in that also, what happens, a pipe gets very much susceptible to bursting. So AI can not only help, digitalization can not only help in reducing these type of optimization program, but also help us minimize a number of accidents, a number of the failures that often arises.
Right. So, I mean, we have reached the end of the webinar, and it was really nice to hear from Avinash sir, Fred, and Madhuvanti, so as to being the thought leaders in the industry. And then, of course, lastly, Vassal Labs, where we have presented what we are doing to the practical side of applications when it comes to the side of monitoring solutions and giving solutions to facilities like IT parks, gated communities, industries, how they can look at the water management side. And the last piece, which Madhuvanti told about early warnings, yes, that is one of the critical aspect. And today, with the use of AI and ML and looking at weather patterns and looking at temperature patterns, be it in a manufacturing unit or be it in a large scale side, people, we are working for those kind of applications. So lastly, thank you everyone for joining today, giving us your time. And we would love any queries. You can always reach out to us at info@vassallabs.com, or you can visit our website to reach out. So thank you all for joining. Have a good day. Bye, everyone.